Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the third One Piece discussion podcast sort of thing. I'm here with Matt again.
Hi, people.
And, alright, so this week's chapter is 818, and, holy crap. Like, this is some big stuff going on. Like, this is, end game stuff starting right here.
Yeah, the most we've learned about the One Piece since we learned you had to use a log post. How to find it.
Yeah. Like, I was not expecting to get this information so soon. Like, honestly, whenever they said that Robin was going to be deciphering the Poneglyph, I thought, we'll find out what it says in like a month from now. But, I mean, we still don't exactly know what it says, but, like, we know what the significance of it being red is now.
Uh-huh.
And it's like... And the fact that we know that Big Mom and Kaido have two of the other ones of the four, like... Do you think Shanks has the fourth one?
No, I don't think so.
Where do you think the fourth one is?
For some reason, I think Dragon has it.
That would be cool.
Because they're putting him in as like one of the factors, like there's gonna be a war there.
Yeah.
And I feel like somehow
that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Blackbeard is gonna end up getting it from Dragon or something.
That does make a lot of sense. That would be perfect.
But that's a completely random guess. It has nothing.
But that would be perfect because, well, just looking at now that you say that that lays out the entire rest of the series basically, because we know that Big Mom has one, Kaido has one, and if you're right, and Dragon has one, well, we know that Luffy's got to go get Sanji from Big Mom.
Mm-hmm.
So he has to confront her. We know that we're heading off to Wano Kuni, which we just found out, fucking Kaido is like... That was pretty, messed up. He boiled their leader alive, damn. And it's so weird to me how they made it like a pun. It's like, that's some serious shit, and they're, joking about it. And then, so, I would think that it would be Luffy's going after, in this order, Big Mom, Kaido, and then Dragon's going to be fighting with Blackbeard while all this happens, and then Blackbeard's going to have to maybe not win the war, but at least get the Poneglyph from them, if that's the case. And then Luffy obviously would have to go after Blackbeard, and then once he's beat Blackbeard, he's pretty much done everything he needs to do, and he can get the One Piece. And then I guess, at some point they might need to confront Akainu, or maybe that's what... Maybe Kobe will finally do something for once and actually be able to confront Akainu again, and this time not be a little bitch.
Yeah. But I kind of forgot about Kobe.
Yeah, but the way that they... You know how after the war in Marineford, Kobe was, basically hospitalized because he unlocked Haki, but it was, he had, the most serious observation Haki that anybody had ever seen.
Yeah, it was so powerful that it messed him up.
Yeah, so I feel like that's got to be there's got to be something significant about him,
I feel like that's gotta somehow relate with Shanks, because Shanks seems like his power's gonna be all Haki, yeah. Well, so I feel like whenever Toby comes back, it's also gonna be sometime around when we're seeing Shanks.
Yeah. There was something in the last chapter that I completely missed the first time I read it, but they said that when they were on their way into the Whale Tree to meet Raizo, Momonosuke said, as we get closer, the voices that I am hearing or something like that gets louder, and at first I thought that, because, and then I think it's either Inuarashi or Nekomamushi, one of those two guys, says, oh, there was somebody else who said something like that. And at first when I read that, I thought that was Luffy saying that, so I was just kind of attributing it to, something to do with observation Haki and him hearing, Raizo. But then reading it back, it was Momonosuke said that, and he wasn't talking about Raizo, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
And because if somebody else had said that in the past, then obviously they're not talking about Raizo, because, Raizo's only been there for so long.
Yeah. It was probably something that was passed down, even though he wasn't, not everything was passed down.
But I'm curious who the person they're talking about who heard it in the past was. Like, do you think it was Goldie Roger?
Oh, I was thinking it was more like one of his, grandparents or,
That would
his
make sense too,
ancestors.
I guess. That makes sense too, I guess. But anyway, getting back to what we were talking about, I just feel like this chapter, to me, just completely tied together so many, storylines into one,
Wait, I just realized something. Didn't when they found the whatever thing on the Sky Island, the Poneglyph on Sky Island, it had Gold Roger, had something engraved in it?
yeah,
And it said something about Gold Roger couldn't actually read it. It was someone else.
right.
So now we know who that was.
Well, yeah, it was somebody from their clan, but we don't know who it was.
Wait, but I feel like I remember saying something about, it was, didn't they say, his Mononosuke's, whatever his father was?
Yeah, you're right. What am I
Yes.
saying? You're right. Because that
So
was
now-
that was the last panel, right?
Yeah, so now they finally found something that tied back to way back then.
Damn, that's like fucking 600 chapters.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah, but it's like, we knew back then there was someone on the crew that could read it and write it. But the thing is, they didn't just write it, because they actually, engraved it into it, the stone, didn't they?
Well, yeah, but they said that, hold on. And you were totally right about them wanting Raizo for information. Because it's just as you said, Kaido was attempting to extract information from us. But, let me go look, because I have the chapter pulled up in a different tab here, so I'm going to look at this real quick. Yeah, what was passed on was the means to read and write the ancient glyphs, but then Momonosuke never learned because his father died, so...
Yeah, but was it written, did what Gold Roger write actually be written on the Poneglyph? Because it was something about the indestructible stone, so if it was the leader would have been the only one to be able to write on it, you know?
Well, just because you can't destroy it doesn't mean you can't chisel into it, right?
But isn't that kind of, if you can chisel into it, can't you destroy it?
I don't know, maybe it's like
Over time?
maybe you need Conqueror's Hockey to do it or something, I don't know. Well, no, because everybody who was a ruler could do it, right? So, I don't know. But see, I had been looking at, these past events in One Piece, thinking that, I never really connected any of it. To me,
Oh
it
wait,
was...
never mind, I was wrong. It was written on the gold, not on the actual Poneglyph.
Okay, that makes sense too, I guess. But I was looking at this, all this stuff that was going on, with Big Mom and Kaido, and them going after Shanks and Blackbeard and all this. I was thinking of these as separate events that, they were gonna progress the story, and they were gonna be big plot points in the story that were gonna progress it, but we wouldn't get to them for a long time, and there was going to be a lot of stuff in between. But now, with this information, that's, the number one priority now, because they basically just got handed a map straight to the One Piece, practically.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm thinking? Do they need the 4 points? Because, if you have 3 points of an X, can't you just kind of guess where it's going to intersect? It's obviously going to be one side or the other, but you can pretty well, you can tell, in other words, if somebody says, I'm going to give you 4 points that are going to form an X, but they give you 3 points. Before they give you the 4th point, you could theoretically figure out where the middle is.
Yeah.
Without the 4th one. So I'm not even sure that they need to go after the 4th one, really. I mean, obviously they're going to, but...
And I feel like they're gonna not just make a copy of what's on it.
Oh, yeah, no. Luffy's... Like, did you
stuff.
see Luffy's face when they suggested that? I love that face.
They need to take the actual stone.
Well, especially because of all the, like I said, there's so much stuff going on there. Like, with Big Mom, she has Sanji. With Kaido, he's going after Shanks. Luffy wants to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, Luffy's gonna be like, they're not gonna have enough time to do that thing. So Luffy's gonna be like, all happy and like pick up the whole huge stone and run with it.
That would be hilarious. Like, they're like, quick, get a copy of it. And Luffy just looks at it and he's like, nah, that's gonna take too long. He just like picks up the stone, or like he tells Zoro to pick up the thing, and he's just like, all right, let's run.
Or like Usopp's getting ready to make a copy of it, and then someone yells, "We don't have enough time!" And then Luffy just like smiles really big and picks up the whole thing.
He's just like, I got an idea. And he just makes his body into like a slingshot to like throw it onto the ship.
That would destroy the ship.
No, they just have it like, they aim it like up. I don't know, Thousand Sunny's been through some tough shit. Come out pretty alright. They just have Luffy like stretch, like wrap his arms around one tree and like his legs around another tree, and then have Zoro like pick up the Poneglyph and just like pull it back and like aim it. Just like, alright, and then Usopp's like guiding him, alright, here's what you're gonna want to do to land it on the ship. But I don't see that happening. It would be hilarious though.
Was it just me, or did this chapter seem kind of out of order? I mean, it wasn't out of order, but just like felt like it while reading it, like it was jumping.
I didn't notice that. I mean, they jumped, like, they didn't show them going outside whenever they were suddenly outside.
Yeah, like they were suddenly outside and suddenly back inside.
But yeah, I think they just left while Robin was translating it to just leave, like, give her some, like, to let her concentrate, basically. I think that was, like...
But the thing is, this is how, like, there was absolutely no transition to going outside, and then just, like, it just... whatever website I was doing on wasn't the best translating. It has giant words in the middle of it saying, translation.
But...
It just wasn't a good translation. I probably should look at another site to get it better.
Do you remember a while back when there was a guy that they were interviewing for One Piece, and he said something along the lines of, like, I think One Piece is about 70% complete, or something like that?
Yeah.
And everybody flipped out, and they were like, that can't possibly be right.
Yeah.
Well, I was one of those people. I was like, wait, that can't be right. But looking at this chapter, that might be right.
I was thinking, like, they were maybe halfway, but now...
Well, no, because the Marineford War was... I'd say halfway.
Well, the thing is not halfway, but you know what I mean. Like
yeah. I was thinking more like 55, 60%.
Yeah, but now it does seem like they're getting so much.
Now I'm just thinking like 75%.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't want it to end. I want it to go on forever.
I know. I want it to go on for a lot longer too, but like.
At the same time, I do want to know what happens at the end, but.
I mean, it's still gonna go on for at least another like 3 years.
Yeah.
But, like, this just, in my mind, this was practically, like, a time skip. But, like, I mean, not exactly, like, does that make sense? It's like, I feel like we just skipped over, like, 2 years of the story.
Yeah.
But, like, at the same time, it wasn't a bad thing. It's just, like, out of nowhere for me. 'Cause I was not expecting this at all.
I feel like I was really excited when I was reading it, but now looking back at it, I'm feeling like...
Worried that it's almost over?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly how I'm feeling. I'm like... Because reading it, I was like, oh, this is huge! And then looking back, I'm like, oh man. We're moving kind of fast here, guys. Like, let's maybe slow it down a little, which is funny because, having watched the anime for these past several months, like... These past, like, 6 months in the anime, I've just been like, hurry up with the pacing! And then this chapter comes out, I'm like, okay, slow down. This is too fast. get like whiplash.
Yeah, I mean, like, it seems like they should have revealed it slower, but it's not like that kind of information can be revealed slowly.
Yeah.
You know?
I was basically like Usopp's face throughout the chapter. That was me reading this, or maybe the Chopper. Just like, wait, what? I like the little bit with Robin when he's like, "I'm worried about you, Nico, Robin. You know, you're gonna have the worst of the worst kind of people coming after you." And she's like, "I'll be fine as long as I have my friends to protect me." And it's just kind of like reminiscent of. It made me think back to Enies Lobby, you know.
Okay, I was just looking through Google Images for, no idea, but I just saw something that I didn't notice when I was reading it the first time. When Bellamy pledged his loyalty to Doflamingo, he donated a golden pillar.
Well,
I mean, like, I didn't realize the first time I read it, but it's a pillar from Skypiea.
I was about to say, he said he went to Skypiea.
Yeah, but I don't know why I didn't realize that the first time. It just kind of like caught my attention now. I mean, I knew he went to Skypiea, but I somehow like missed the fact that it was the giant pillar that they were trying to give the Straw Hats at the end that he donated. You know.
Yeah. Man.
Random thing that just caught my attention.
So what do you think's gonna happen now? Like, with this new information, like.
Okay, so I think, well, first off, Big Mom's gonna happen.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
See, the only thing is, I think I might say is, I'm not sure whether or not it's gonna be Big Mom first or Kaido first. Or maybe the crew might split up and go after Big Mom and Kaido at the same time. But I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, so many different things could happen. What do you think? What were you saying?
I think it kind of has to be, who is it? Big Mom first.
Well, see, I just wouldn't be surprised if, you know, Luffy and some of the crew members went after Big Mom while Zoro and Law stayed back to fight Kaido because... if not just because of the fact that they're both swordsmen and, you know, Wano's centered around this story with the samurai, you know, it just makes sense if the two swordsmen would stay behind and fight him. But...
yeah.
I don't know. And you know, we still have all this stuff to deal with the underground and Sanji's family and the Gorosei with Bonnie and... like all the other supernovas and what's gonna happen with them, and just like what you were talking about earlier with Akainu and Kobe, and like there's so many loose ends left to tie up still, and I feel like we've almost just like with this information, it's like we may as well just skip over most of that stuff because it's like, well, hell, now we know like the end goal's closer than ever.
But at the same time, it's gonna be as hard as ever.
Right. But I was just thinking, like, you know, there's so many loose ends, but now it's just like they almost seem insignificant at this point. Because it's like, why even worry about them?
Yeah.
What do you think's gonna happen with Bonnie? Like, what do you think's the whole deal with her?
I don't know, but she seems really important.
Yeah, I mean... Was it Akainu that went after her? I forget. Was it Akainu? It was either Akainu or Blackbeard, one of the two. I think it was Akainu. But like, she lost her entire crew, so you know it's bad when they kill off your entire crew and not you. Especially when like nobody dies in One Piece, but like...
Yeah. I mean, like, does she still have a double fruit power?
Yeah, she has the like I don't remember
I
what it's called.
don't know
It's
why,
like
but when I saw it, when I first saw it, it was talking about after they said Blackbeard was going on like a devil fruit hunt. So I didn't know if he like stole her devil fruits,
no.
or if he actually has any more than just the two that he has now.
Well,
Yeah.
Blackbeard, to our knowledge, has not gained any more powers, but Jesus Burgess has been going around and killing devil fruit users and stealing their fruits. So we know he has devil fruits, but to our knowledge, he hasn't eaten anymore.
Okay. Because like, I mean, now that we've learned how like you get the devil fruits from like the fruit that you got from when you kill someone.
Right.
So that makes sense. And but before we learned all of that, and I saw her tied up and everything, and it was like almost right after they had talked about how he was going around collecting devil fruits. So I assumed that had something to do with it, and they were going to take her devil fruit.
See, I was thinking about her fruit the other day, and like the possibilities of it. Like, how far back do you think she can go? Like, do you think she could go all the way back to being like a single cell?
I doubt it.
Like, I mean, there's got to be like a limit, right?
Yeah.
But like, what do you think it is?
When she reaches the point where she dies. Either getting too old or getting too young, and she reaches a point that she doesn't...
Well, you wouldn't die if you made yourself young. You would just, go through life again, so...
Well, no, if you make yourself, like, so young that you need the support of, like, love.
But wouldn't you be able to change yourself back still?
What if it was, like... Yeah, but then there's a certain point that she'd get to where she wouldn't be able to, like, do anything.
But, see, the thing is, no matter how young she gets, she keeps the same, like, mind. Like, because whenever she makes herself a kid...
Yeah, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, like, you'd need the support of the mother's womb at that.
Oh, wait, right. But I'm just thinking, she's tied up right now, like, literally tied up. I'm just thinking, like, well, couldn't she just turn herself into a kid and slip out of the ropes? Like...
I mean, if there's sea prism stones, she might be stuck at whatever age she was at currently.
That is interesting. I wonder how Sea Prism Stone affects her. Do you think it keeps her locked in at the age she is, or do you think it, like, turns her to her actual age?
I think it would lock her at the age she is. Because it seems like because from what I've seen, they're not, like, completely remove your powers.
I heard an interesting question the other day. It was two things, and they were both about Capone's power. And one of them was, well, you know how Capone always has, like, his, like, army of people inside him?
Yeah?
Well, so if somebody put on Sea Prism Stone cuffs onto him, like, what would happen to the people inside of him? Like, would they all get bigger? Like, would they turn to normal size inside of him? Or, like, would they just be trapped in there? Or, like, would they die? I mean, what would happen?
See, that's the thing, because I feel like the sea prism stone doesn't actually, like, make your powers, like, non-existent, you know? Because, like...
But it does with Logia fruit users.
Yeah.
Like Marco, look at Marco, right? He, like, when he gets shot without the cuffs on, it just goes through him because he's made of fire. Because he's, a phoenix.
Yeah.
But when he gets shot with the cuffs on, he bleeds. So, obviously, his powers stopped working.
But at the same time, when Luffy grabs Sea Prism Stone bars, he still, like, stretches down and, like, bleh. And when,
Yeah,
like,
and when he takes, like, baths and stuff, he's still stretchy.
Yeah, and when Brooks...
Maybe it only affects Logia users like that.
Because when Brooke gets it, when he doesn't, like, return to being dead...
That'd be really inconvenient.
So, it's not really well explained, I guess.
Yeah. But then the other thing was, he had that Sea Prism Stone spear. Capone had it, remember? Like, because he threatened Caesar with it.
Yeah.
He might have actually stabbed Caesar with it. I don't remember what he did. But just your pool in your background. Like, people playing billiards. Anyway, well, the thing is, he was keeping that Sea Prism Stone spear inside of his body. How does that work?
That doesn't make sense.
The best explanation I've heard for that question so far was somebody had said maybe it's like, because you know how like stuff that's inside of him shrinks to like a size where it'll fit inside of him?
Yeah.
They said maybe it shrunk to the point where it was like, tiny enough that he didn't even notice it. Like how, if you took like a single drop of, a deadly poison, it might not be enough to kill you. So, like along those lines. Which I guess, I could see that being the case.
It's like when Luffy and them were in the bathhouse or whatever, and they said as long as we're only waist deep, it's fine.
Yeah. And you have a lot of background noise.
Yeah, there's someone in the vending machine.
Man, this is a crazy week so far, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so Sea Prism Stone hasn't really, doesn't make sense completely. We definitely need to do more work on making that.
I doubt they will.
I know, because it's like an anomaly or whatever, but if they try to explain it, it'll probably make some things that have happened not work.
Yeah.
So it's like, the Sea Prism Stone itself it doesn't really seem to work.
But I feel like, I don't remember whenever we were first introduced to it, but the first time I remember ever seeing it is in Alabasta, right?
Yeah.
I don't know about you. But anyway, so I'm just thinking, like, when
Oh,
Oda...
wait, we first saw it on the back of, what's his name's pole? Smoker.
That was in Alabasta. Wasn't it?
That was back
Oh,
in
no, that was
Logtown.
in Logtown, you're right. Well, anyway, I'm just thinking, Logtown's like, what, like 50 episodes into the series?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, when Oda was writing that, he probably hadn't thought this far ahead. Like, he probably didn't think it was going to be, like, 900 chapters or whatever it's going to end up being. I mean, obviously it's going to be more than that, but... You know what I'm saying? Like, he probably just didn't really think this far ahead with it, like, when he was writing back then. So, maybe he didn't think he'd have to explain it. Or, like, it would even matter at all.
Yeah.
Because that was a long time ago. That was, what was that, like, 10 years ago?
Most likely. So, yeah, but then they did talk about it more in Alabasta, and then that's when it really started being used again, because it was just mentioned in Logtown, and then Alabasta it was used for, like, the first time, really.
Yeah.
And then it's a while before we see it again, because it didn't exist in Skypiea.
Yeah, but we got introduced to hockey there.
Yeah.
Well, I guess technically we got introduced to hockey whenever Shanks, fought the monster and lost his arm.
I wasn't sure. I feel like Oda probably didn't even know what he was doing. He was just saying, like, oh, this guy's so powerful he can scare away the...
Yeah.
But, I feel like he hadn't, like, designed hockey or whatever yet. It was just like, he's so powerful he scared away the...
Yeah, I feel like if he had thought about hockey at that point, he probably wouldn't have lost an arm, right? Because, like...
Yeah.
But still, makes him pretty cool.
Yeah.
But, I mean... yeah, I think that's pretty much all the news for this week so far.
Okay, another question. So, we talked about who you'd want to be on for pirate crew. What ship would you want? What pirate ship would you want? Because you got things like Thriller Bark, that huge island ship.
I'd have to think about that one, because there's a lot of ships.
Yeah. Well,
I
for me,
definitely wouldn't want Bonnie's ship because I'd constantly have frickin' seagulls attacking my ship because it's made of food.
I'd want the Going Merry just because it's got like a sheep's head and lamb chops, lamb, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, so it kind of fits my image. But at the same time, I would also want something cooler.
I'm just trying to think of like all the different ships. I think it would depend on what my power was if I had a power or not.
Yeah.
Because like in the
I mean, you also have Ace's little thing that's just powered by his flames.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't really count that as a ship though.
Yeah. You got Buggy's awesome circus one.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about the one movie 3D2Y. You know how they had that one guy, Guy Ram, the guy that had the big hammer and the crazy haircut, looked like Dr. Eggman or whatever the guy's name is from Sonic. How he had like the cube fruit.
Yeah.
Well, the way that they had their ship set up, he could just like completely, mess with it and like change it all around however he wanted. So I'm just thinking like, if you have a fruit like that, then it doesn't really matter what ship you have, you can just mess with it, right?
Yep.
So, I don't know, I think it would depend on what the power that I had, if any. And if I didn't have a power, I guess, I don't know. As much as I hate Foxy, like, their ship is pretty badass. Like, it can, like, transform and stuff. It would be kind of a pain in the ass, though, because you'd have to, like... They have to, like, move everything every time that it transforms so that, like, all the barrels and crates and everything are out of the way. Or, like, they need to be strapped down, or else it won't work.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't feel like they ever strap anything down on that ship. You know?
What about, what's his name? The guy from Dressrosa who has, like, the bowling power. You know who I'm talking about? Like, the leader of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, basically. Do you know who I'm talking about? The guy that threw Zoro into Pika?
What's he look like again?
I can't really look him up because I don't know his name. It's like
Wait, which one?
What do you mean? The guy... I don't know how else to explain.
Wait, no, we say what you said.
He's like the guy with the bowling fruit power who threw Zoro into Pika, and he's like the 1st Division commander of the Straw Hat Pirate Grand Fleet. But I can't think of his name for some reason.
Okay,
his
so...
ship is like the Yanta Maria or something like that.
Well, first of all, first spot is Cavendish's. Second spot is Bartolomeo. Then the third one is Don Say. Then
Don
we got...
Say? Who's it?
He's the one, the Hapo Navy. The child of the guy with the big pointy head.
I don't think that's his name.
Well, Don Sai.
Oh yeah, Sai. Right.
Sai, sorry. I just... reading it. Then there's the... IDO, destructive cannon. The destruction
The
cannon.
guy with the 3 joints or 2 joints,
Yeah.
however many he has.
And then we've got the little dwarves.
Yeah, Leo.
Yeah. And then
the guy I'm talking about is the guy who like leads all these people. Like he's the guy that set this up.
Then we got the giant. And then 7th, and last but not least, we have the 44,300 members of my Yanta Maria Grand Fleet with me as the Admiral. Pioneer, Adventurer,
Orlumbus.
Yeah, he's according to their ranking order, he's the lowest ranking. He's not the leader of them all.
Yeah, but he
was the one saying it.
Right.
But
he's the guy that set all this up, though. Like he might be like the only reason they're in last is because they all agreed on their place. But
they drew lots, and he's the
right.
He lost, so Cavendish is the one that has the most say in anything.
Which is ridiculous. It should be Bartolomeo. Love Bartolomeo. Anyway, what I was gonna say is, You know, we've been talking for like 5 minutes trying to figure out this guy's name. All I was gonna say is that I like his ship because his ship is like the biggest one. I think it might just be one of, if not the biggest ship we've. Well, it can't be right because Thriller Bark might have to be bigger because it's like an entire island. But like, or Olympus's ship, just to put it into perspective, like there's one panel. I'll put up a picture of it where the one giant guy. What's the giant's name from Dressrosa? Well, anyway, the giant's like standing there looking at it, and he's like an ant compared to this ship. Like he's like the size of like if he was on the ship, it would be like a normal person on the ship. Like that's how gigantic this ship is.
Yeah. Okay, I just found the page. Chapter 799, page 11.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even be a normal person. He'd be smaller than a normal person on the ship.
Like, so that ship would be cool just to be able to like imagine how intimidating that would be to have like in real life. Like you just sail anywhere and everybody's just like afraid.
The problem is you can't really sail anywhere because those ships got to be so deep underwater also.
It's constantly in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, you can't really go. It'd be so far out you'd have to dock to go anywhere.
Oh man, I don't think there's any new news about One Piece Film Gold yet.
Yeah.
Since last week. What else? What else? Is there anything else we haven't talked about?
I think that's about it for this week.
Yeah, but man, this is a big week though. Like,
yeah.
This is some intense information.
I mean, I was stunned. Like, yeah.
Alright, well, I guess, like you said, that's it for this week. Thank you for watching, everybody, and I guess we'll see you in the next one.
Yep. See you next week.